Olya entered the apartment shortly after 6 in the morning and was immediately stumbled by a strange smell. In the hallway stood a strange suitcase, large burgundy with a worn handle. Slippers were nearby. Not her slippers. "Olenka, are you home?" A voice came from the kitchen. Her mother-in-law, Zinaida Pavlovna, in a robe with a cup. "Hello, Zinaida Pavlovna. How are you here?" "But Seryozha told you." "Seryozha didn't say anything to me." Her mother-in-law looked at Olya as if she had forgotten to do her homework. "But you discussed everything with him. I live with you now. Where else would I go?" Olya slowly took off her jacket to have time to think. Her sleepy son, Misha, peered out from the living room. "Mom, why am I on a folding bed?" "Later, honey, later." Olya took out her husband's phone and dialed. He hung up. 5 minutes later, a message arrived. "I'll break in, then we'll talk. Don't send me out, Mom." "I need a separate room," my mother-in-law explained over breakfast. "I don't sleep well. And also, Olya, I have an ulcer. I need a diet. Nothing fried. Nothing on the side. Porridge, vegetables when needed." "I understand." "Well, you're a paramedic, you understand?" "I understand. I'll be in the nursery." It's quiet there. "And where's Misha?" "Well, in the living room." "Does a boy need much?" At his age, Seryozha generally slept in the hallway. And no matter, he's grown up. And 3 days later, Olya realized the scale of the disaster. My mother-in-law got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, turned on the TV, and watched morning health programs, louder than anyone with normal hearing needed. She had to cook fresh porridge in the morning. Yesterday's was no good. "My stomach won't accept yesterday's." She washed her clothes separately. "I can't do it with everyone else. My skin is sensitive." Misha walked around the apartment like a shadow, became quiet. He kept his textbooks in a stack by the sofa in the living room. "Mom, is Grandma staying for long?" "I don't know, darling. We'll ask Dad when she comes." "She will always be with us now." Olya was silent. The honest answer was, "I don't know, and that scares me." In the evening, she sat on a bench by the entrance. Air, silence, something that was no longer at home. Tamara Leonidovna, a neighbor from the 4th floor, sat down next to her. Small, with a short haircut and a gaze that saw right through everything. "What, Olya? Have you got a problem with your suitcase?" "Apparently. Obviously, a girl. Your face is like my late boss's when the ABH came to him." Olya grinned. "Tamara Leonidovna, you were a lawyer, weren't you?" "I spent 30 years in civil cases. Family inheritance, all those joys." "Can I ask you a question?" "Yes, of course, ask." Olya told the story briefly, without tears. Her mother-in-law sold her apartment in a small town. She gave the money to her daughter for expansion. The daughter has a 3-room apartment, 78 square meters. Sergei, whom no one at Olya's has consented, and a suitcase in her hallway. Tamara Leonidovna listened and nodded. "Darling, I'll warn you right away. Going to court here is a long and nerve-wracking matter. The mother paid the money herself, no receipts. There are no conditional gift deeds. But the gist is, the mother sold the apartment for her daughter. The daughter didn't provide the apartment. The mother was left homeless. This is called, without a trial, an ugly word. And this is decided not in the judge's office, but in the kitchen of the courtroom. That is, you need to talk, put pressure on. People really don't like it when a scheme is mentioned out loud. While the scheme is in the head, it's cunning. But once it's out loud, it's pathetic." Olya looked at her neighbor and thought that these 80-year-old sneakers and cardigan were worth more than half the city's law firms. "Thank you. You're welcome for now. But when you figure it out, then bring me some cognac. I like Armenian." Sergei arrived on Saturday, tired with bags under his eyes, hugged his son, and nodded at his mother. Olya was the last one to hug, somehow casually, touching. Seryoza, we need to talk. He looked at her and realized it was better not to argue. The three of them sat in the kitchen. His mother-in-law sat too. She was sure this was a family meeting. As the eldest, they wouldn't ignore her. Olya took out her phone, dialed the number for the reception area, and put it on speakerphone. Lena, hello, it's Olya. Oh, Olya, hi. What happened? It happened. Your mother has been living with us for 2 weeks. Well, that's good. She was alone there, and here you are with Seryoza. Lena, am I right in thinking that Mom sold the apartment and gave you the money? Well, it's a family matter, Lena. Lena, I'm not talking about whose business it is. I'm talking about Mom selling their only home. The money went to you for an expansion, and Mom lives in our 2-room apartment, where there's a mortgage and a 10-year-old on a folding bed. Am I understanding the situation correctly? Olya, why are you being so aggressive? I'm not being aggressive, I'm clarifying. With the money you received, you're taking Mom in. The line went quiet. My mother-in-law turned pale. Sergei looked at the table. Olya, well, I have a child, a husband, and renovations. And I also have a child, a husband, a mortgage, and 42 square meters. And you have 78 and the money from Mom's apartment. But it's a family matter. It's a family matter. And for me, too. Seryoza's my husband. His mother is my mother-in-law. If it's a family matter, then it's a family matter with everyone else. The mother-in-law started crying into her handkerchief. Olya, how do you talk to people? Sergei spoke up. Seryoza, be quiet. You haven't talked to me. You made your decision, and I'm talking to your sister because there's no one else. That evening, Sergei didn't talk, lying on the couch in the living room staring at the ceiling. Misha was quietly packing his backpack for school tomorrow. Dad, are you home for long? For a week, son. Should I put away the cot? I don't know yet. Olya washed the dishes, listened, and said nothing. The mother-in-law was sitting in the nursery with the door closed. Her voice could be heard from there. She was calling someone, probably her daughter. She came out half an hour later, her eyes red. Olya, tomorrow I'll probably go to Lena's for a while and sort things out. Okay, Zinaida Pavlovna. You are certainly tough. No, Zinaida Pavlovna, I'm tired. The mother-in-law wanted to say something else, but didn't. She went back to the nursery. You humiliated my mother, Seryoza said in the kitchen that night. I asked her daughter, and that was it. You called in front of her, and you brought it in front of me without calling, without talking, without, oh, Olya, let's discuss it. You brought it and presented it as a fait accompli. I can present it as a fait accompli, too, Seryoza. I just don't want to yet. Sergei remained silent. Seryoza, for 11 years I lived as if our family was one thing. But it turns out that when it comes to your mother and your sister, our family is you, and Misha and I are just an add-on. This won't do. Olya. Not Olya. I'm not throwing your mother out on the street. I'm telling you, she has a daughter. The daughter has 78 meters and her mother's money. It's math, Seryoza. I'm not angry. I just know how to count. My husband sat with his head down. Tired truck driver who hadn't slept in for 3 days and whose wife had pinned him against the wall so tightly he couldn't escape. I promised your mother that you would look after her. Olya looked at him. Seryoza, you can promise for yourself. I never promised you anything like that. You promised, so you look after her. Take unpaid leave, stay with her and cook porridge. I won't even say a word. But then you'll be driving. Not anytime soon. He remained silent, realizing he had no answer. 2 days later, his mother-in-law left. She didn't hug Olya goodbye, but said dryly, Well, bye. I wish you good health, Zinaida Pavlovna. And that was it. Misha returned to his room. The folding bed was removed. The apartment seemed to have breathed a sigh of relief. Seryoza sulked for a week, pacing the apartment like a cloud. He answered questions in monosyllables. Olya didn't bother him. She had shifts, she had her own things to do. And on Friday evening, he sat down next to her on the sofa. Olya, I was wrong. I know. I thought you would understand. I understood. That's why I did what I did. Forgive me. Seryoza. I will forgive you once, but I want you to hear any decision about our apartment, about our son, about our money. It's only together. It's not me who decided. You adapt. But together. If you decide for me again, then I'll decide without you. And you won't like it. What do you mean, you won't like it? Think about it. You have exactly a week at home. You have time. Seryosha chuckled sadly, but not maliciously either. You've become harsh. I haven't become harsh. I've always been like this. There was just no reason before. Entrance, Olya went out into the yard with a bag. In the bag was a bottle of Armenian cognac, 5 stars. Tamara Leonidovna was sitting on the same bench with a newspaper. Well, did she kick you out? She left herself. This is even better, without lawsuits and stress. This is for you, as I promised. Tamara Leonidovna looked at the cognac and nodded approvingly. Good. It's not embarrassing to even talk to one like that. Thank you. If it weren't for I handled everything differently, and it would have been worse. Girl, the most important thing in this life is to call a spade a spade. A suitcase is a suitcase. A tomb apartment is a tomb apartment. And mom's money is mom's money. If someone is confused, you need to help them out. Kindly, but firmly. Olya sat down next to her. Have you forgiven your husband? Yes, I have, and rightly so. Husbands are like big children. They don't understand until you show them. And if you show them, they get offended. And then it goes away. And what about your mother-in-law? Tamara Leonidovna shrugged. And your mother-in-law is not your blood relative, and never will be. That's normal. You may not love her, but you respect her. From a distance, preferably 300 kilometers. And everyone will be fine. Olya laughed. For the first time in 2 weeks,